and welcome to another episode of Retro Gaming Corner. I'm back with an updated collection video of one of my favorite systems to collect for, the Atari 2600. So let's get moving here. I'm just going to rip through these quick, and hopefully you'll enjoy my collection. First off, Activision Barnstorming. Most of these I have in their protective cases. I highly recommend these. These things are great. They keep the boxes fresh. These are all complete in box. So that's Barnstorming, an old game by Activision. A lot of fun in the day. Next up, Superman, one of the old original games on the Atari 2600. It's got the sticker and a little writing on there, but everything is complete and in the box. And that is Superman, Atari 2600. Next up, obviously a classic, Space Invaders for the Atari 2600. A great version and rendition of that. I love that game. Played all the time. Another classic, great game, Missile Command. Look at that artwork. Don't you just love the old Atari artwork? So that is Missile Command. Next up, Sword Quest. This is Earthworld. Everyone knows the Sword Quest. They came with the comic book for hints, and you would play the game and try to solve the puzzles and submit your entry to win the fabulous prizes. Look it up on the internet. I'm not going to get into it. $150,000 Sword Quest challenge. But that is Sword Quest Earthworld, complete in box. So let's keep this rolling along. Next up, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Another classic game. Bum, ba-dum, bum. For the Atari 2600. Kind of a tough game to play in the day, but the most hated Atari 26 game you ever, which isn't that bad, but a copy of E.T. for the Atari 2600. Back then, it was in the bargain bin, $6.98. And that is E.T., the extraterrestrial Atari 2600. Next up, another old classic, the Atari Defender. Again, came with the comic book, which is in here. Atari Defender. This was sold at, looks like Woolworths for, God, $30? Can you believe it back then? And that is Defender. Fun game. Next up is kind of a beat-up game. Some of these I'm looking for better copies of, but this is Video Pinball. And it's got a little torn-up thing there. But that was a fun game in the day. That's Video Pinball. Next up, very old game, Street Racer for the Atari 2600. So that's cool. Next up, another Activision title, a lot of fun, Megamania, a space nightmare. Very cool. Next up, classic of mine. I love this game. This is from the creators of E.T. and Raiders, Scott Warshaw, or whatever his name is. Forget his name. Yar's Revenge. Again, with the comic book. Don't you just love that artwork? Yar's Revenge. Very cool. Such a fun game to play. I like that. All right. A couple of these now are Spectravision silver box games. We have Gangster Alley. We have Planet Patrol. Planet Patrol. We have Nexar. Kind of like an inverted Tempest kind of game. And I'm reaching a little bit on that, but it's a fun game, Nexar. I like that. Nexar, whatever. Next up, China Syndrome. I assume based on the movie China Syndrome with Jack Lemmon, Jane Fonda, etc. So, those are my Spectravision games. Next up is... Let me pull some more out here. Give me a minute, folks. All right, we have 20th Century Fox, MASH. Unfortunately, I do not have the t-shirt that came with that. But this is complete in box. Excellent. Excellent condition. So I'll be ordering more covers because I still have more to get. Next up is the old classic Asteroids. Game's a lot of fun to play. I like that game. So that is Asteroids. Next up is Chopper Command by Activision. A lot of fun. Like that game. That's Chopper Command. And that was by Bob Whitehead from Activision. So, next up is Skyjinx by Activision. Kind of a balloon game. And that's another Bob Whitehead game. And that is Skyjinx. Let me grab some more. Alright. We have... Alright. We have... very cool game, Crawl. Love the movie Crawl. And that's the game. Crawl. Not a bad game. So, next up is Sequest. And again, these are just my Atari 2600 box games. If you want to see all the unboxed games, which I have hundreds and hundreds, check one of my previous videos. Just do a search for it in there. You'll find it. That's Sequest by Activision. A lot of fun. Love that game. Let me move back a little bit here. Next up, Return of the Jedi, Death Star Battle. There you go. Death Star Battle. Next up, Super Cobra from Parker Brothers for the Atari 2600. There's the back. That's Super Cobra. Next up, let's keep this rolling, folks. Grab some more here. All right, we have Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back. Very cool. Classic game. Love playing this from time to time. There you go. That's the back. Very cool game. Next up, another Sword Quest game, Fire World. Again, these games were kind of horrible, contest-driven games, but, you know, it's nice to pull them out and figure out the hidden messages in the comics. So, again, Activision Freeway. That's fun. A lot of fun with two players. Kind of going across the road, chicken across the road there. That's Freeway, and that's by David Crane. Designed by him, who did Pitfall. Next up, very good copy of this. Adventure. So much fun. One of the first Atari games to come out. Classic game. Oh, I love this game. Very cool. Next up is Gravatar on the Atari 2600. With the interesting red label there. There you go. That's Gravatar. Let's see. Next up is Reactor by Parker Brothers. These were the ones that would slide out with the cartridge in them. Kind of nice boxes. They hold up very well. And that is Reactor by Parker Brothers. Next up is Amadar, another Parker Brothers box game. Oops. Got it upside down. Amadar. That's Parker Brothers. Another box game, G.I. Joe Cobra Strike. Cool artwork on that. And there you go. G.I. Joe Cobra Strike. 1, 2, or 3 players. And this uses the paddles in 3-player games and a joystick. Interesting, right? Next up is... Grab some more, folks. Let's grab some more. Next up is an awesome game. Alien, 20th Century Fox. Fun game to play. Box is in mint condition. Kind of going for a hefty price these days on eBay. But that's Alien, 20th Century Fox. Next up is Attack Revenge of the Beefsteak Tomatoes. Atari 2600. There you go. Keep it rolling. Next up, Fast Eddie, 20th Century Fox. A lot of fun. This was available on numerous computers also. Commodore 64. That's a fun game. 8 levels of play. Next up, Spider Fighter by Activision. Kind of a fun shoot-'em-up game. And there you go. And that was designed by Larry Miller. And that's Spider Fighter. Spider Fighter. Alright, next up is Crypts of Chaos. Love the artwork on that. Kind of an early attempt at an RPG. 4-play options. Very cool. And that is 20th Century Fox. Next up, Flash Gordon. Obviously, my name is Gordon, so it's a cool game. And it's Flash Gordon. Okay, next up is Bank Heist. A lot of fun. I like playing this game. 20th Century Fox. Bank Heist. Atari 2600. Game's a lot of fun. Let me see. Let me get some more here. Let's see. Here we go. Here's another game. Another 20th Century Fox game. This game's a lot of fun. It's in my top 10. And that is Turmoil for the Atari 2600. So, there you go. That's my Atari 2600 games in box. I'm going to do a part 2, and I'm going to show you my Supercharger games that are available. And as you know, the Supercharger, which is here, which boosts the memory, and they would load via tape. So that's Phaser Patrol. But I'm going to do a part 2 quick. This is 12 minutes right now. I just wanted to do a quick one. And I'll show you all the Phaser Patrol games in part 2 and the remainder Atari 2600 games I have. So there you have it, folks. There's my part 1 collection of my Atari 2600 games. Until the next episode, hopefully everybody is having a great Mother's Day. And keep collecting those retro games. And we'll see you at part 2. Cheers. Flash Gordon out. Cheers.